Up for questions to Texas A&M quarterback Johnny Manziel. We'll start over here to the right.
Kate Bach, TexAgs.com, Sports Radio 1150. Johnny, what will you remember most about this special season?
First of all, I just want to thank all y'all for came a long way. First time you get a chance to stand up in front of the camera and talk to y'all. It's finally nice to give y'all a little piece about a little more about who I am. But the big thing about this year, first year in the SEC, it's been something that a lot of Aggies they'll remember for the rest of their lives, and especially a lot of these seniors. Just to not lose a game on the road this year, that's something that will really stick in my mind for a while.
Right here on the left.
Chandler Smith Battalion. When you were named the starter in the fall after the quarterback battle, what did you do to gain the trust of your teammates? And was something that you did more yourself, or did your coaches help facilitate that at all?
It's something that kind of, I guess, came on its own with finally getting the first team reps, all the first team reps, getting to be in the huddle with the group of offensive linemen and getting on the same page with receivers. Felt like there was just a certain point in time where it just gelled on its own. And luckily for me, we've kind of clicked as a group throughout the year, and it's really paid off.
Over here to the far right.
Hey, John. Bob Slovak, KTRK down in Houston. We've been asking Coach Sumlin and your teammates all season to tell us about you. Describe yourself for us. What kind of guy? We see what you do on the football field.
It's kind of like I said yesterday. I don't really see myself as the Johnny football craze. It's kind of swept Aggie land. It's been swept around the nation a little bit. I see myself as Johnny Manziel. I'm a guy from Kerrville, Texas, who just try to be a laid-back guy who likes to hang out with my friends and be a normal college student just like anybody else.
Back in the back, Chip.
Johnny, Chip Howard from Zone Radio here in town. Have you begun thinking about or writing an acceptance speech for next week at the Heisman? And if so, are you talking to anybody about kind of bouncing ideas off of them?
It's something that never really thought about yet. I've been more focused on making it through the season and trying to bring this program to a team win, something that hasn't been done that often here at Texas A&M. So that was first and foremost my main focus. Now that all this talk's kind of swirling around, it's definitely something I guess you kind of have to prepare for. But like I said, it would be a dream come true for me to even be able to go to the Heisman ceremony, much less say a speech.
Go here to the left and then Bill back.
Hey Johnny, Kate Robles, Dallas Morning News. What did you learn from your arrest this summer, and what were the repercussions that Coach Sumlin implemented for you after that?
It was something that was a critical mistake in my life. It was something that I had to learn a lot from, and something that had its consequences with Coach Sumlin, with my teammates, and with everybody here in England. But it was just a critical mistake on my part, and something that from that I've had to make changes in my life to kind of revolve around that, whatever happened.
Okay, here in the middle.
Johnny Pedro Gomez from ESPN. There's so much talk about a freshman possibly winning the Heisman Trophy for the first time. When you look at that, as well as around this room, what are your thoughts?
It's crazy. Like I said yesterday, it's so surreal for me to be even mentioned in the same category, in the same series as the Heisman Trophy. It's a dream come true. It would be a dream come true for me to even be able to go to New York and sit down after watching years and years of guys that I've looked up to get dressed up and go sit on the front row and hope their name's called. So for me, it would be a dream come true and something that I would cherish forever.
To the back, right? Randy.
Randy McAvoy, KPRC in Houston. Has there been any point in the season, Johnny, with all the success where it became almost overwhelming on the field, off the field, all the attention that was coming your way?
There was a few times probably after the Alabama game, which was when things really kicked up. Kind of points in time where maybe I thought about changing my phone number. You definitely have to change your whole just kind of how you look at things, where you go. Kind of want to become a homebody a little more. So it definitely did get a little overwhelming for me, and I think my family as well. But it's something that you dream about being on the stage. You dream about being able to play quarterback anywhere and be in the spotlight. So it's a dream come true.
Over here to the far left and then to the back.
Johnny Manziel, Sports Illustrated. when you were being recruited, who besides Oregon and Texas A&M recruited you as a quarterback? And did you get frustrated with a lot of the other schools that said, well, we want you to come and be a safety or a receiver or whatever?
I don't think I really got frustrated about it. I just wanted to play, and that was the biggest thing. I wanted to play, whether it was obviously not kicker after we saw that, whether it was receiver, a safety, or whatever it really was. I just wanted to play college football, and that was my ultimate goal. There were schools, TCU, A&M, Oregon, Stanford, all went out there for quarterback camps, and as long as a long list of other schools that I was fortunate enough to have offers from. So I went out and checked a bunch of them, and the majority of them were for a quarterback.
Go here to the left, Courtney.
Hi, Johnny, Courtney Mullen from INEL.com. We've all obviously seen how great you're on the field, and Coach Sullivan said, your numbers tell the story about that, and then we've heard all season long about your character, and you just talked a little bit there about how you earned the leadership and the trust of all your teammates. I want to know, why are you so good, and how do you have the ability to, I guess, do some of the things that you do on the field, and if possibly playing a shortstop, I think it was, at Tivy, helps with that at all, and then also just the time that you spent in California this summer, and your trainer out there said, you developed, core strength, which really also helps, and how that all combines to allow you to do some of the things that you did.
Well, I think first and foremost, with the individual success that I've had, the records that have been broken, all that, without the other 100 guys on the team, not just offense, not just defense, this coaching staff, our strength staff, trainers, everybody, without truly my teammates, none of that would even be possible whatsoever at all. So that's the biggest key. Is our team success this year is we've really come together as a unit, and because of that, I get the chance to stand up here when really there could be 5 offensive linemen, Patrick Lewis, any of those guys standing up here and being in the spotlight, because they really deserve just as much, if not more, credit. And then going to Coach Whitfield, he's a guy that I really, truly have built a relationship with, and somebody that I look up to. We try to keep in touch every week, and after being able to spend the week with him and Logan Thomas out in California, it was something that I really got to work on my game in particular, and something that I think paid off.
Over here to the right, Keith.
Johnny, Keith Hawkins at Fox TV in Houston. I believe Rice was the first school to offer you a scholarship. If you could take us back to that, what you thought at the time, and how the recruiting really picked up pace once that one offer was available.
I think you hear it time and time again on the recruiting trail. Once you get one offer, I guess the rest kind of start rolling in. So I wouldn't say it's like some of the other guys who get recruited out there. I guess bigger names, 5-star guys like that. But once one offer came in, I started to get a few more here and there. And at a time where I saw my other friends getting offers, who I talked to around the state, and I was kind of wondering why I wasn't getting some. But I think that everything did work out. I ended up being in a place exactly where I wanted to be, and I couldn't be happier.
We'll go to the back and then over here to the left.
Hi, Johnny. Lane Fobbs with Carriage D ABC 40 here in town. Just going back to that arrest, you're sitting in the police car, sitting in the jail. So part one of this question is, what's going through your mind while you're there? And part two is, in what ways did that help you maturity-wise, especially since it takes a lot of maturity to handle this type of spotlight?
I think the first thing that goes through your mind is just how many people that you let down. You can't really say anything else than that other than let your family down and let a group of teammates, a group of coaches who all care about you and really don't want to see anything like that happen. And just for a truly critical error and judgment on my part, it is something that I look back and just want to make mistakes in my life. And from there, I've had to make a lot of changes in my life. I'm really more aware of my surroundings and what goes on in my life. I've had to surround myself with a great group of people. I have a great family, a great group of coaches here that really all care about my well-being and me moving forward as a person.
Johnny Brook from KTX here in town. Can you talk about, I know a lot of college kids are shorts and t-shirts kind of guys. Your uncle runs Harleys. Do you have any trouble picking out your clothes for your ceremonies next week?
My uncle is one of the guys I looked up to. If I wanted to dress like somebody, I would dress like him every single day. He's one of the best dressers that I've had the privilege to be around. I'm very fortunate that he does on that store. I'm in there quite a bit every week, not just for the award shows and stuff like that, but just hang out with my mom who works there and hang out with Michael who owns it. Get to pick out some nice jeans, some nice stuff, so it's fortunate on my part.
Down front.
Brent, it's one of the San Antonio Express News and Houston Chronicle. Johnny, I know it's a basic question, and I know your parents were golfers, but where did your athleticism come from? And at what point when you were a kid did you realize maybe it's a little better than others?
I think it probably came from a mix of my mom and dad, just like any kid would say. I mean, my dad still to this day thinks he can beat me in baseball, football, golf, ping pong, you name it, he thinks he can beat me. And he's not bad. He's a scratch golfer. Some of that I still can't beat in that, but I think I can take him in everything else. So I think I get a little bit of both from my parents. So I'm very, very blessed and very fortunate to have the ability to play these sports that I do have the opportunity to play.
We're going to go very back and into the middle.
Johnny, if the bowl projections play out the way a lot of people expect, the Longhorns and Aggies could play in the Cotton Bowl. How would you feel being able to cap the season off with a game like that?
It would be something that I think would draw a rather large crowd. It's a game that everybody, every single year for the past, however long the game has been played, was one of the most watched on TV. On Thanksgiving, it was a fun game, a really, really heated and spirited rivalry in the state of Texas. And it's something for me personally that if that's how cards kind of fell, then I guess it was something that would be fun and just prepare for it like we would any other team.
Okay, here in the middle.
Mike Taylor, Ranch Radio Group, Kerrville. You're already an epic legend in Kerrville. What kind of advice can you give to all high school quarterbacks around the country who want to be just like Johnny football?
I don't know if I've really set a legend. I don't know if that's really, it's kind of more of a folk tale, I guess, right now. I don't really see it that way, but if I were to give some advice to a high school quarterback or something like that, the thing that I guess I kind of display is you go to all these camps, you go to all this stuff. Some people can't really judge how you play the game. If you play the game with passion, if you're going to play football, play it with all your heart. It doesn't matter if you're 5'10", want to play quarterback and get done with it. If you want to be 6 foot and be the best quarterback in the league for a year, look at Drew Brees. It doesn't matter how big you are or how fast you are or whatever. Just play with a lot of heart and do it all on the field every time.
Down front.
Mark Passwater's with Rivalries. After the SMU game, when you had your real coming out party, Coach Kingsbury said at the press conference the next week that things hadn't slowed down for you yet. In your estimation, when did things start to slow down? When did things start coming a little more natural?
Week by week, I think things got a little slower. Week by week, it just kept going down a notch, and it's still, the game still isn't where, really like for it to be. I'm still picking up the offense and still learning stuff every day, and even right now, we're on a bye week and still need to go in and watch film and get better every day because we're really, with this bowl game, we have a chance to win 11 games, which is something that we really as a team want to do. So the more that I can do to help me out and help this team out, that's the ultimate goal.
Kevin, here in the middle, then we'll go back and then to Owen.
Hi, Johnny. Kevin O'Connor, WPAW in the zone. You're the odds-on favorite for the Heisman this time. There are people talking about even 2. Does that scare you at all? Is that something that you've gone down the road thinking about yet?
I haven't even thought about it. I've like I said, my focus has been on finishing the season. If fortunate enough and to go to New York and actually get a chance to win the Heisman, then I guess, like I said, that situation will play itself out. I'm not going to really let any pressure be put on me about the years coming forward. Each and every year, my goal is going to be to bring a national championship, go to Texas A&M, win the SEC, and ultimately not lose a game every year that we step out on the field. It's more of I'm going for team goals more than anything individual.
To the back.
Dan Seed, KAGS HD here in College Station in Bryan. Johnny, in the fall, Coach Kingsbury had talked about how basically in the spring you were a work in progress. What did you do during the summer to help you progress from work in progress to starter, and anything specific that you can remember where you finally, everything clicked?
There was a time being out in California with Coach Whitfield where I felt like when I really worked on my mechanics and I really did some stuff that the ball came out a little bit better, it came out quicker, it came out smoother, through a better spiral. And that was kind of the point where I couldn't wait to get back to camp. I couldn't wait for fall camp. I mean, almost not getting any sleep at night, just waiting for that first day of fall camp to go out and show that I feel like I've gotten better, and I feel like I can compete to win this starting job.
Down front,
Old Buchanan with TexAgs.com. Johnny, can you remember what your reaction was when you first started hearing your name as a Heisman contender, and when you if you can remember when you thought that winning it might be a real possibility?
I guess the first time I really saw my name in the Heisman is something that you don't really believe. I guess it's something that's cool to see, and something that's cool to see on ESPN or on some website anywhere. It's something that, as a kid, that's the biggest, most prestigious award you can win in college football, and your name to be tagged to it in any way, shape, or form. Something that's pretty cool. The talk that it really started picking up after the Alabama game, I guess. But the thing about that game was, it's our most complete game as a team. Coach Summer always talks about playing complete games, offense, defense, special teams. And I felt like defense played great, offense did our job, special teams did their job, drawing offsides to seal the game. I mean, that's as complete as you can get. And I guess that's kind of when the talk started after that.
over here, far left.
It's Shane McCall with KBTX News 3 here in town. A lot of folks have put up YouTube videos, either singing about you, to you, you kind of name it kind of thing. I know there's a rap version, there's a Texas country version, there's even like a 60s Motown version. Have you seen those, and are any of them particular favorites of yours?
Somebody asked me that question yesterday, and I haven't really seen the video that they talked about. Try not to get on YouTube or Google myself or look into that. It's kind of not the person that I am. But I did get tweeted at about a little girl who said she was my biggest fan, and I checked it out, and I actually got the chance to meet her after a couple games in a couple instances, and she gave me a hug, and I got a chance to talk to her mom and her dad. So that's been one of the highlights of the year outside of football for sure.
To the back, and then we'll come down front.
Hi Johnny, Lauren Holman with Fox 28 News here in Bryan College Station. There's been so much hype surrounding this football season, and it seems to only intensify as, it's progressed. We have Johnny Football, Heisman Manziel. How are you dealing with all of this? During the teleconference yesterday, you said it's still really strange going out to dinner and having, people coming up to take your picture. How has it affected you? How are you dealing with it? How are you trying to, live a normal life as possible as such a big star here on A&M's campus?
Well, I think my friends do the best job of making sure that doesn't really get to me or really get to my head or anything like that. I think they're in love with more college football players than they even like me. But it's kind of funny they talk about Jeff Driscoll or Braxton Miller or whoever it may be. They talk about these guys all the time, and it kind of makes me sit back like, do y'all even like me? But I kind of see what they're doing it. It is different for me, driving around town and pulling up to a red light, somebody waving at you and kind of be like, me? That's who you're waving at? Going out to dinner and people want to come up and take a picture. The thing is, if people want to do that with me, and that's something that I'm willing to get back for sure.
Down here, Bill.
Billy Lucci, TexAgs.com. Johnny, as competitive as you are, what does it mean to you when you hear things like your opponents, like Sam? It's not just Sam Montgomery, but off a lot of these teams you play, be so complimentary of you as an athlete and a competitor. And then the second part is clinging to a 6-point fourth quarter lead at Alabama. You guys are about to take the field for the game-winning score. What, if anything, did you tell your teammates in the huddle before that drive started?
Second part of the question, second part of the question, just after we got the fumble at Alabama, and great defensive play, great play to get the ball out and get it back to our team. I just told them, no, let's go, it's our time. I looked at you on the sideline and said, this is our time, let's go. That's what we're going to do, we're going to win this game. And I think you have to have that confidence in the huddle and make sure those guys see that we're going to drive down the field right now and take this game and put some more points on the board to secure the lead. I didn't think it would come in 2 plays, to tell you the truth. Looking back, after the game, I didn't realize that we had 2 passes, 2 touchdowns, and it happened that quick. But those are 2 great plays. An awesome wheel route down the sideline by Ryan Swope. And then my favorite play of the year to Malcolm Kennedy and Guy Drake all over making a one-handed catch, and then being able to take the lead like that was something that I'll never forget from him so far, and can't wait to learn as much as I can from him in the years to come. He's one of my favorite people to be around in this entire building. He brings a lot of energy to the team, and he's great at what he does. I think he was a great football player at Tech. He's a great coach now. So he's definitely one of my favorite people to be around. And mine and his relationship has grown tremendously. I think if you look on the field now, he's got a lot more flexibility with what he does and really trusts me with a lot more. So that's something that I look at and definitely take a lot of pride in.
Because he was a quarterback, is he hard on you?
He can definitely be hard on me sometimes, but he kind of tells me in games to think this, think that, and he really knows what he's talking about, because there's points in time where he's just going back and reliving kind of what he did, and I'm just doing it instead of him.
All right, Brent, you're going to be our last one. I made a promise to academic folks to get him out. So, Brent.
Ryan Zorn, the San Antonio Express and Houston Chronicle. Everyone saw your highlights from high school and things like that. Was there ever any kind of doubt in your mind that that type of game you played at Tide would translate to the college level, and particularly the SEC, and then also after you had redshirted last season as well? Was there ever any kind of doubt that you'd be able to do that at this level?
I don't know if I ever really doubted myself. I always had a lot of confidence in my ability. I always feel like I'm the most competitive guy on the field, regardless of what team we're playing. I didn't really know how all the freelancing that I did in high school would kind of drop back, and we'll just see what happens, kind of plays would translate into college, because it's such a big step, and it's something that I'm working on each day to kind of not necessarily take out of my game, but play more within the system. And that's the ultimate goal, is to do what Coach Kingsbury and what Coach Sumlin wants, and hopefully the result is winning football games. That's the main focus.
All right, Johnny, thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.